This story is about embracing change and taking the leap into a new chapter of life. Picture this, selling everything, packing your bags, and embarking on a journey across the country, searching for new perspectives, new experiences, and a break from the monotony of the classic 9-to-5 grind. We set out from our home in St. Catharines, Ontario, about to embark on a journey across Canada. With nothing but our old SUV, each other, and the remaining belongings we could fit into our tiny home on wheels, we were ready to hit the open road and make our way to the West Coast.
Preparing for this move meant making sacrifices. We worked a lot, saved diligently, questioned everything, parted ways with the comforts of our past, and essentially sold most of our belongings. It seemed like a lot was happening, which it was, but one thing remained clear the entire time. We refused to settle for a life of what-ifs and missed opportunities. But before settling in to our new home on Vancouver Island, we had some driving to do. 10,000 kilometers from southern Ontario, all the way to the Arctic Ocean. With no set schedule, we hopped in our tiny home on wheels and began our journey west.
As we left our hometown behind, we felt a little melancholy, but mostly excited for what lay ahead. The feeling of a big road trip is almost indescribable. Every day brings something different, new views, new people. Our first stop, Burwash, Ontario, an old town hidden in the wilderness. Just outside of Sudbury, it used to be busy with the Burwash Industrial Farm, where they tried new ways to help prisoners, but now it's completely quiet. In the middle of Burwash stood the big Burwash Correctional Center. It was old and falling apart, but it had a story to tell. We felt kind of small walking around it, like we were part of history. Burwash once housed anywhere between 180 to 820 inmates when the initially isolated prison became more accessible following the construction of Highway 69. An entire community of prison workers and support staff developed around the facility. The inmates had built a church, a post office, a tailor shop, and even a barber shop. Legend has it, one inmate even ran the local barber shop, sometimes even shaving his own prison guards with a straight razor. What makes this location even more special is that it was once called home to my father's side of the family, as my grandfather was actually the superintendent at Camp Bison. Even though everything was falling apart, there was something beautiful about it. Plants were growing everywhere, taking over the buildings like they were their own.
Nearing the end of the day, we had to find somewhere to park for the night.
All right, I think we found home for the night.
Yeah, abandoned town, abandoned prison,
That is
now
awesome.
an abandoned bus. We ended up in a cozy Canadian Tire parking lot. It wasn't fancy, but it worked.
Bedtime. Well, good morning. Coming out? How are you feeling today?
Refreshed, ready for day 2. As we headed north, there were fewer cars on the road and our windshield got covered in more bugs. The weather was nice, with a bit of rain now and then, but the sun still peeked through the clouds. You're more aware of the changes around you as the hours go by driving on the road. You don't realize how large of a province Ontario really is until you drive out of it. It felt like we've been on the road forever, covering over 1,000 kilometers and spending countless hours driving. But as we drove along Lake Superior, we couldn't help but be amazed by Ontario's beauty. The cliffs and the water were so pretty, it felt like we were in a painting. There's a reason the group of 7 painted the majority of their work right here in the paddling paradises of Ontario.
We had spent the night right here tucked away in the trees just off the Trans-Canada Highway. Once you leave the city behind, finding camping becomes much easier. Sitting by the fire after a solid steak dinner, we were truly grateful for the adventure we were on, enjoying the silence with the exception of a few semi-trucks driving by throughout the evening, and taking full advantage of the simple joys in life. No stress about what the next day would bring, and just being content in the moment. The next morning, we had took our first bath of the trip. And if you've ever swam in a body of water that large, you know the water never gets quite warm enough. Just over 82,000 square kilometers. When you look out at Lake Superior, you'd swear you were staring at an ocean. As Canadians, we had the obligation to stop where all Canadians like to congregate in the mornings.
Hi, can I go there?
Hi, can I please get a farmer's breakfast wrap and 10 packet Timbits just assorted?
That's okay.
Alright, thank you.
Cannot stop eating these things.
I kind of want another one.
These farmer's breakfast sandwiches are unreal. Elena never had one before this trip,
I've been missing out.
and now every morning we have to make a stop to get these.
Mine's already half gone.
And once we'd fueled ourselves and the vehicle, we were back on the road, kilometer by kilometer, chipping away at the 21-hour drive to leave the province we'd called home our entire lives.
Good? You ready?
As we approached the Manitoba border, it had dawned on us that we had now been on the road for nearly 6 days. Yet each moment spent driving and exploring new places was a testament to the beauty of slow travel.
We are leaving Dryden, Ontario. We just did our regular gas fill up and Timmy's run. We're going to be leaving Ontario today. We left July 1st and it is now the 6th. We took our sweet ass time leaving Ontario, so it's good to knock off one province and get into the next. We're taking a big trip this summer, going up to the Yukon and then eventually ending up on Vancouver Island. So we have lots of stops and plans for this summer. So it'll be a long time before we're back in Ontario, sadly, but we're super excited to get back on the road and keep going. Not exactly sure where we want to end up tonight. We're looking at Grasslands National Park, Waterton National Park. Still pretty far, so we'll stop somewhere in between.
Crossing into Manitoba, the landscape began to shift before our eyes. Gone were the rugged contours of the Canadian Shield, replaced by the expansive horizons of the prairies.
Did you know the geographical center of Canada is in the small town of Lorette, Manitoba? Pulling over at this iconic landmark, we couldn't resist the opportunity to leave our mark. Of course, we had to make the touristy stop and sit in the big chair, as well as sign the Center of Canada sign.
Driving across the prairies felt like entering a vast canvas. Saskatchewan is called the land of the living skies for a reason, because its citizens have the largest and longest uninterrupted view of a wind system known as the jet stream, bringing large amounts of interesting cloud formations and ever-changing weather systems. The prairies generally get overlooked on a drive across Canada, often being long, flat, boring, over 15 hours of almost driving across the same terrain. However, in our opinion, there's a lot of beauty in this part of Canada. This long drive makes the mountainous terrain yet to come even that much more exceptional.
Posted up at the one and only Costco Wholesale.
We're only at Costco because the mosquitoes would have eaten us
Oh yeah,
alive
there's
today.
no mosquitoes here.
And we were going to stay at another rest area where we stayed last year, and you could just see the mosquitoes everywhere. So we checked it out and then decided to keep driving a bit more. So
Diesel had a tick on him too, so now we're terrified that we all have ticks on us.
you're terrified.
Yeah, every time I feel something, an itch, I think it's a tick on my body.
I'm just covered in bites. We're all ready for bed. We'll be in Alberta tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty exposed right now, but it's fun.
And it's funny, we pulled into Costco to find a spot, and there's landscaping going on right now. And there's a pile of wood chips.
They've got the backhoe going. Who does landscaping at 11 o'clock in the evening?
But I just let Diesel out to go for a pee, and I got to hand it to them. It looks very nice. So
Yeah, it's very groomed. It's a very
Yes.
groomed Costco.
that's really nice.
They're doing
So,
it right.
Yeah, it's it's quite lovely.
Good morning.
Last we left off, we were in a Costco parking lot.
Nice, cozy Costco parking
Yeah,
lot.
it was quite cozy, and we were all situated, and unfortunately there were some landscapers, and they were doing all the landscaping things. But yeah, so we had parked by like a wood chip pile in the parking lot, and so we were watching an episode of Stranger Things, and what's that, Toho?
The skid steer. The big bucket to pick up all the mulch that
Yeah.
they were using.
Yeah, so that thing kept coming, and it was just really loud and noisy, and Kyle was like, okay, we gotta move. So I stayed in the back of the car, and then Kyle drove, and we ended up staying at Planet Fitness. It was a 24-hour gym, so we just stayed in the parking lot there. So I think by the time we got to bed, it was like midnight or after midnight.
Way past our bedtime.
Yeah, way past. And then we were up just before 6 this morning. So we're on the road now, and we decided to go to Waterton National Park. So we're on our way there now. We should get there just after lunch, and we booked a campsite, so we're gonna stay there and then check it out tomorrow too.
Yeah. We don't normally book campsites with electrical, but there was literally one campsite left at this national park. So it'll be nice to just charge everything and have power for a night. Take a shower and shower.
Woo! Yeah.
We're feeling the effects. We're feeling a little tired, but got
Slightly delirious.
about 7 hours of driving left, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we're getting very close. So.
Still having a blast.
Yeah.
As we crossed the Alberta border, a sense of anticipation filled the air. Our first destination was Waterton Lakes National Park, and even though it was a bit out of the way, it felt right going there to check it out. As we neared the national park, the landscape underwent a drastic transformation right before our eyes. To one side, the land was flat like the prairies, while to the other was tall, massive mountains, giving us the first real look of the Rockies.
Then turn left onto Windflower Avenue.
Arriving at our campsite in Waterton Lakes, it felt great to unwind. Nestled in a valley surrounded by towering peaks, we were greeted by the soothing sounds of nature and several yappy neighbors. With hot showers enjoyed and a cozy campsite, we were ready to celebrate a special occasion the next morning, Diesel's 7th birthday. On Diesel's special day, we treated him to a hike up Bears Hump Trail, a scenic trek that offered panoramic views of the town and surrounding park. As we reached the lookout, the beauty of the park stretched out before us, with a nice breeze to cool us down on a hot summer day. Good boy.
We ventured through the breathtaking beauty of Kananaskis, saw some wildlife, and knew we would have to come back for some backcountry camping.
Hey, Kevin.
Kananaskis requires a permit to camp overnight, but we opted for a different oasis, the parking lot of the casino. Grateful for the chance to finally stop and rest, we checked in at the casino and found a spot to call our own for the night. It may not have been the wilderness camping experience we had envisioned, but it was a welcome respite after a long day on the road. Considering where we are in the world, we couldn't really complain about cooking dinner in a parking lot with mountains surrounding us. And hey, it was free. We settled in for the night, curtains closed to help reduce the lights from the vehicles coming in. Up until now, there have been constant signs that teach us how some of the best experiences are the ones that unfold unexpectedly.
Well, here we are again in our cozy little domicile. It's raining outside. The weather kind of snuck up on us. It's not the camping we'd envisioned, but it was a nice drive today. We're close to Canmore now, so we're where we want to be for tomorrow. There's a Timmy's and a gas station right in the parking lot over, so we're all set for the morning.
Yeah, it's all you need.
Diesel had a great birthday. He is sleeping and snoring already. Yeah, we're excited to be here. The mountains are something else, I'll tell you.
Yeah, just kind of in awe.
Yeah.
Every time you're driving, you just catch yourself. I'm like, oh yeah. Like,
Forget you're driving.
I'm in heaven.
Maybe we'll gamble in the morning before we head out. We're gonna watch Stranger Things again because we can't do much outside. We have our living room, and then we.
I was like, we were standing outside, and I was like, so where do you want to go, in the front seat or in the back? Just because, like, we have to kind of arrange a few things. But, like, even we just got in now, and I just changed into my comfy clothes and, hunched over and just trying to get things. But we honestly have it down to a science, so it's truly normal now. So, yeah. And
we've done this several times, not for as long as we're doing it this summer, but we know we're not going to kill each other. At least we did this for a whole month last summer, and we loved it. It gets very tight, we won't lie. It gets pretty crammed, especially with a third furry body breathing in here in the back. We love seeing everybody else's setup, like truck campers, RVs, camper vans. That's what we were originally going to do for this summer, but it's just impossible to find something for a decent price, and that's not having 1 million kilometers on it already.
Yeah, we did look, so we figure, we have this, let's roll with what we got.
Yeah.
We can do it, we're doing it.
But definitely our future goal, because we have lots of trips planned for the future.
The next morning, we were back on the highway heading towards Canmore. After weeks of living and sleeping in the cozy confines of our SUV, the prospect of having some extra space was a much welcome change. Out of the three of us, Diesel definitely enjoyed sprawling out on the queen size bed the most. We explored a bit of this charming mountain town and enjoyed our morning coffee with some of the locals by the lake. Love it here. The mountains are beautiful. We just had coffee by Quarry Lake. You're just in the middle. You're in a big valley and there's just mountains every direction you look. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's really nice.
We had a super relaxing day yesterday. We didn't film much of anything because we had that hotel booked. So we pretty much just loafed around the whole day.
Yeah, it was nice. I just took a shower, just kind of loafed in bed, had some wine and that, and it was quite relaxing. It was really nice. I think much needed because we've really been outside for over a week now. So it was nice to just hang out and relax.
Yeah.
And we're just in front of two sisters. See the
Three
mountains?
sisters?
Three sisters.
4?
Crop that out. 4 or 5. I need another coffee, I
Lots
guess.
of sisters.
There's a lot of sisters and mountains. Just overwhelmed. We're gonna head back to the hotel and just get our things together and then head to Banff. Arriving in Banff National Park, we camped for a few days at Tunnel Mountain. After setting up camp, we realized the importance of planning ahead, as booking camping months in advance was crucial for getting a spot in these popular parks. While Banff National Park is undeniably stunning, it's good to know that with its beauty comes rules and regulations to protect the environment. As we ventured into the park, we saw that these popular spots can get really crowded and might not be easy to get to. Despite the crowds, we still had a great time, soaking up the sun and exploring Lake Minnewanka. Our early morning trip to Moraine Lake would prove to be a bit of a challenge. Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning, and we're ready to go. So see you there. Let's go. It's dead. We left camp at 4 in the morning to drive to the famous Moraine Lake for sunrise. As we approached the turnoff, we were turned away because the parking lot was already full. So we decided to continue up the road to Lake Louise instead. As we sipped our coffee and watched the sunrise at Lake Louise, surrounded by other travelers, we still found some peaceful moments here. And while these popular spots are great, it just made us want to explore the roads less traveled and find those hidden gems, making us that much more excited to venture into the Yukon territory.
It was a very relaxing morning, very nice. On our way back out, we tried going down Moraine again, and they told us either keep doing a loop or take the park and ride shuttle. So we're gonna go get breakfast, and maybe later on we'll get in there, but if not, it is what it is. Hanging out, waiting for the grocery store to open because we have no food right now.
Yeah.
I think we have a cucumber and some hummus left.
And we're in Banff, so there aren't too many grocery stores. So.
Yeah. We're driving up the Icefields Parkway today. It's one of the best drives we've done. Probably one of the best drives in Canada that you can do. So once you go up there, you don't really have another store until you get to Jasper. So we either get expensive groceries now or we just starve for the rest of the week. So
And that's not happening.
That's not happening. Because nobody likes a hangry Alana. Nobody like anyone who's hangry.
The Icefields Parkway links Banff to Jasper and is arguably one of the nicest stretches of pavement in all of North America. There's definitely something exciting about roaming from place to place with no real itinerary, just seeing what feels right at the time and going for it. With no need to rush, we made several pit stops along the way. Along the way, we found a quiet campground tucked away in the wilderness, offering access to some great hiking trails. This was the kind of camping we loved. The campground had a calm vibe, making us feel right at home. The next day, we took a short drive along the Icefields Parkway through Jasper National Park. We hiked Wilcox Pass, and with every step, we saw towering peaks and the huge Athabasca Glacier in the distance. Seeing something so grand and natural was really humbling.
Just heard quite a rumble over there. Just got the tail end of that avalanche there.
Wow. Today was an interesting start to our day.
Started interesting, yes.
Yeah, I had to get up to go pee this morning, and I had opened my door and I saw someone walking in front of our campsite, and they stopped and then started walking towards Kyle's side of the car. And I was like, Kyle, like,
there's someone in our campsite.
Yeah, like someone's at the door. So I closed my door. I'm like, something's up. And the lady's like, there's a black bear across the street. So there was a bear literally across the street, just kind of in the bush.
Just munching away, minding its own business.
Yeah, so her side was kind of up the road a bit. So she had just come to go to the washroom herself. So we were like, you know what, just wait here, you know, and then we'll kind of see what happens. So we watched the bear for a bit, and then eventually the bear crossed the road, kind of behind our campsite. Mm-hmm. And then Kyle walked her.
I walked her back to her campsite because she was quite scared. But it was an interesting start. Got our blood pumping first thing in the morning. It's funny, you get a lot of looks. Like, we keep the back open sometimes to let Diesel just have some air when we're sitting at a picnic bench, and people see the drawers and the bed in the back, and it's just something you wouldn't really expect out of a small little SUV. So it gets looks every now and again.
Yeah, and then we explained to people, you know, we packed up from Ontario and we're doing this big move in just the cars. So sometimes it's harder to believe myself. But we're doing it, and we're quite comfortable. Like, we're well rested, well fed, showered up, really. Yeah. So
she was
great.
She's like, you guys look pretty clean for living in a vehicle right now. But we're doing better than we did last summer. Yeah. Because that was every few days. Which, when you're hiking and moving around in the heat, it's not pretty. When you're all disheveled going out into public.
As we ventured deeper into Jasper National Park, we discovered the quaint town of Jasper, a hidden gem nestled amidst the towering peaks of the Rockies. And even with all the exceptional views, probably one of our favorite stops to make while in Jasper is at Bear Paws Bakery for the delicious raspberry white chocolate scones. We met a couple yesterday that mentioned we should go to Horseshoe Lake, which is back down the ice fields, kind of the way we came, but it's such a beautiful drive. We don't really mind backtracking a little bit. So we're going to check all those places out, go on a little adventure. Taking advantage of the warm weather, we found a lake and wasted no time diving into the frigid glacier water.
8 out of 10.
I'm coming.
Afterwards, we drove up a long, windy road to view Mount Edith Cavell. This impressive 3,300 meter peak is named after the one and only Edith Cavell, a British nurse executed during World War I for her part in helping Allied prisoners escape the German-occupied Brussels. We took a short walk up to the viewpoint and felt super small as we were being immersed in these mountains. We made our way to one of the nearby campgrounds to settle in for the night. And as we cozied in the back of the SUV, we quickly learned that Diesel had a knack for taking up all the available space, leaving us to squeeze into whatever corner we could find.
You're the bad guy that has to wake him up now. Anytime he goes swimming, he gets so tired by the end of the day.
I'll just snuggle up on the outside of the bed.
I mean,
Oh my god,
he's such a log
do
right
I go
now.
in Diesel's spot?
I don't know. Save me some room at least. Look at this guy. He's snoring already. Alright. And here we are.
We're all here.
See, there's quite a bit of room. For me.
If we actually slept in the middle here, I feel like we would have a lot of room. But the thing is, Diesel like sprawls out and like rolls over.
Diesel will lie horizontal, not nice and vertical to make things make sense, but just so we have no foot room.
And now he's up here tonight.
But even with the cramped quarters, there was a sense of contentment knowing that the best adventures are the ones shared with the ones we love, even if they happen to hog all the space. Like the American adventurer Chris McCandles once said, happiness is only real when shared.
So we're just leaving the campground and we're heading into town to grab a raspberry white chocolate scone. And maybe, I don't know, probably get maybe a couple of them.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of them. And yeah,
Maybe a box.
a box to go. And then we're heading to Mount Robson. Crossing the border into British Columbia, we stopped to capture the classic photo with the Welcome to British Columbia sign. We made it to BC! We made it! Continuing our journey north, we found ourselves drawn to the majestic allure of Mount Robson Provincial Park. Mount Robson is the tallest Canadian Rocky Mountain. We realized that we were entering a new province, a new home for the time being, and a gateway to even more incredible adventures waiting to be discovered. We decided to camp here for a few nights and were welcomed to a beautiful campsite with the Robson River backing onto it. Settling into our campsite at the base of Mount Robson, we cooked over the fire and listened to the rush of the river.
Look at this. Look at this setup.
This is my vanity. Vanity room. Like, what if I was going, I don't know, to a wedding or an occasion?
What weddings are we going to on the road?
I'm just going down to the river. So.
Elena was getting sick of my mustache being too long, so here we are.
Coming to you live from the car. We just went down to the river because the sky cleared up a bit, so we got to see Mount Robson.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to have a pretty crazy thunderstorm, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden it went away, so you never really know what kind of weather you're going to get around here.
I was just brushing my teeth in the campsite, and I was like, babe, like, we have to go down there if you want, because like I can see the mountain, and it was really light, like there weren't any clouds, because there's clouds kind of sitting around it all day. So
We have a pretty awesome view from our backyard here. The mountains and the river are just down this little hill here.
yeah, so we're gonna go explore tomorrow.
Yep, we got the alarm set for fairly early. I'm going to get up and just go do stuff.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Broke by they're all leaking.
That's alright.
We decided to cook over our fire today because we have this nice grill, and our pan has been very promising from the dollar store. As we embarked on the next leg of our adventure, we couldn't help but feel a surge of anticipation for the experiences that lie ahead. With British Columbia as our playground and the open road stretching out before us, we were ready to embrace whatever adventures came our way. We explored a few of the park's trails and waterfalls and also took time to tend to life's little necessities.
Here's the little system here. I'll just use this stuff, Camp Suds. It's biodegradable. You just get it at any outdoor store. Just kind of toss it in with some of the water here. It's pretty freezing cold, but still does the trick. Toss them in the river. Oh, almost lost a sock. Oh, that was close. And then I have my little beach laundry dryer station. Still not a bad view though. Gets the job done, and it's cheaper than the laundromat.
Things like laundry, getting a little workout in, and encountering curious wildlife added an element of adventure to our campground experience here.
We had an interesting morning.
Yesterday we were like, oh, we should probably just like work out or go for a run or something. So we got up this morning and we decided we're gonna run from our campsite to the visitor center. It's about
Kilometer and a half.
Yeah, kilometer and a half. So that'd be nice just up the road and back. So yeah, we got up. It was so chilly this morning. It still kind of is, but
Yeah.
it was chilly, so we kind of got up, fed Diesel, let him do his business, came back to bed, got dressed, and then we headed out for our run.
Alana and I are usually fairly active back home, and we told ourselves that we were going to be, well, we're active, like we hike and stuff, but we're going to make sure we exercise when we're on the road, and it's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks tomorrow, and we haven't exercised once, so it definitely starts to play a little bit of a toll on your mental health, and your body starts to feel it for sure. But yeah, even through that like first 500 meters, my knees just started aching. She fell back. She was complaining about knee pain. And
Like, I'm slow.
just the part of getting old, I guess. But no, it was definitely nice to get out and just move around a little bit. Anyways, yes, so we were running. I was running a little bit ahead of Alana, and I look over into the bushes, and it was about 20-25 feet away, and I just see the long white nose and then the black fur, and I saw a bear up on his hind legs, and he wasn't like ready to charge. He was just like, what are you guys doing? He was just very curious. As soon as I talked to it, I was just like, hey bear, and he turned off and he bolted into the woods. But it was just, that got my blood pumping a little more than the run this morning.
Yeah.
It was just crazy timing how I thought about that. I was like, I have a feeling I'm going to see a bear, and then within 5 minutes, there was one within close proximity, and we weren't in the comfort of our car anymore, which made it a lot more interesting.
And we're actually running like towards like the sun, so I couldn't really see, and I was breathing quite heavily, so I couldn't even hear really what he said. I was like, a deer?
Yeah.
No, a bear.
Catch. Okay, we'll try again. Ready? Catch, buddy. One. Third time's the charm. Catch.
Up until now, we had been on the road for about 3 weeks, which also meant it was time to get an oil change. It was nice to take a break from driving and enjoy what British Columbia has to offer, knowing that this is just the beginning.
Our plan was to drive towards the Yukon. We had been hearing all about the forest fires, warranting us to contemplate whether or not we should even make the drive that direction. We contacted a few people who had connections that way, and they shared that there were no road closures and things were looking better. We were happy to hear the good news, and so before we started this next leg of the journey, we had to stock up on the essentials before driving into the much more remote areas of northern British Columbia and eventually the Yukon Territory.
So we are in Prince George, and we just finished getting an oil change, and it was a fabulous experience. You just drive in there and they service your car, offer you coffee, tea, and water. They clean the windshield. It was awesome. I had a good time. Well, Kyle's just in the grocery stores. We stopped at Walmart, so we're just waiting for him to bring groceries. So I came out. I had to get Diesel some dog food, and so he had his supper.
So here's our daily game of Tetris. We have our dry storage bin right here. So now we just try and maneuver whatever we can, whatever dry storage we can.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to open those oatmeal boxes perhaps.
Definitely makes you think on like what to buy at a certain time, because
Like,
you don't want food
there's-
going bad, so you don't buy a ton of stuff at once. You kind of just buy whatever you're gonna need for the time being.
Yeah.
At this point, we had felt accomplished for the many kilometers we had already traveled, and we're even more excited to gear up for the next few thousand we had ahead. Canada is so grand that the amount of kilometers that we had already traveled west, we would now be driving nearly the same amount going north. Leaving Prince George behind, our journey carried us through the picturesque landscapes of British Columbia. Passing through Smithers, we found ourselves drawn to a little detour, the Twin Falls. We arrived at Twin Falls, where we hiked a short incline to see the natural beauty of these waterfalls. You could feel from afar how powerful they really were.
Hey there!
So we're just leaving Twin Falls, which is just located outside of Smithers, and there's a wreck site here and a really pretty trail to a couple waterfalls. So we just drove up the mountain, parked. There's probably like no more than 5 wreck sites.
Very small.
Yeah, really small. Doesn't look like you have to pay. Really, really pretty. And the waterfalls were just gorgeous. So we got to check those out, and now we're heading out back on the road.
We had made frequent stops along the remote Cassiar Highway, which offered glimpses of untamed wilderness. We saw our first family of black bears, a mama and her 2 cubs, cross the road right in front of us. We stopped to enjoy them crossing the road safely, and the cubs being super curious.
Alana just tried to pee,
Outside the door.
and of course, a bunch of trucks come up just as she's half peeing, half squat
Yeah, so I only half peed, so now I'm sitting here.
in my own pee.
No, I just need to finish my business. Driving for hours, we stopped at another rest area where other travelers were posted up as well. You learn to make home wherever you are. Whether it's a Walmart, truck stop, or the greatest campsite ever, it's always a pleasure to speak with your new neighbors and exchange travel stories.
And my number one recommendation to somebody starting to plan this now is don't make reservations nowhere. You don't need them. You don't.
We're really in the middle of nowhere. We turned down the Cassiar Highway, so it's still another 8 to 9 hours to Waterton Lake, which is the first town once you cross over the Yukon border. Pretty beautiful. We've seen a ton of the mountains. You can kind of see over towards the coast in Alaska. There's not many stops in between, pretty much for 100, sometimes 200 kilometers without another gas station. So you really have to plan ahead for those things and pick where you're gonna stop. We haven't had service since we got onto this highway. It's super nice because they have a lot of wreck sites along the highways. Pretty much all the highways we've been through in BC, they have rest areas every 50 or so kilometers that you can just pull off and sleep for the night, which is super helpful. But yeah, we're just gonna cook up some dinner, hang out for a bit, do it all again tomorrow.
As we journey further north, the temperatures start to drop, which was definitely welcome to ward off the swarms of mosquitoes. There is so much construction on this highway. Lots of potholes and gravel patches. Some that you know about and some that just come out of nowhere. How are you feeling so far?
It's like I'm in a real life game of Mario Kart. Just dodging all the crap on the ground.
So we just pulled over on the side of the road because I had to pee again. And we're just getting some...
She doesn't stop peeing.
I'm hydrated. And so we're just gonna make some oatmeal because we are hungry.
How you feeling, D-man?
And yeah, and then we'll probably make like breakfast later on, but for now we're just gonna have some oatmeal. And it's a little chilly today. I just threw on a sweater. I think it's at like 12 degrees.
Yeah, it's got cold today.
Yeah, but it's pretty here.
We are in the middle.
Eventually we reached the Alaska Highway after almost 900 kilometers on the Stewart-Cassiar Highway. This highway was the wilderness road we were looking for. But even after driving for what seemed like forever, we were still only in British Columbia. But soon we'd approach the Yukon border, and of course, in typical Way of the Roads fashion, we had to get a few pictures and document this massive milestone of reaching the Yukon territory. It felt so surreal to be here. We look back at how far we've come so far on this journey, realizing the true vastness of Canada. Every kilometer traveled is a testament to the sheer magnitude of this beautiful country.
I've been acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant, I'm always in bloom for you.
We could feel the adrenaline rush even more just being here. We were overwhelmed by the beauty and already so excited to continue exploring the wonders of the Great White North.
The small town of Waterton Lake was our first stop after crossing the Yukon border, and we felt as if we were somewhat back in civilization. We checked out the visitor center where we would camp for the night, conveniently located near the famous signpost forest. Here we had the chance to chat with some friendly locals, exchange stories, and gain valuable insights into the hidden gems and must-visit destinations of the Yukon.
So I went in and the ladies at the visitor center were like, oh, it's closed today, so you can't shower. So anyway, I got to talking to the lady, and she gave me, I have a folder with all the things
To the brim.
to do in the Yukon. I think you got this one yesterday.
Yeah.
So some maps of everything. We got the experience guide, camping map, where to view wildlife. And then, we have a bird one. And then also have roadside flower guide. I was like, I really want that one, because I always see these ones everywhere. So now I can do something while I'm in the passenger seat. I'll be like, oh, hold on. And what's fun is it's color coded. So we see a yellow flower, you go to the yellow page.
Of course, we had come to this town for a reason, eager to leave our mark on the iconic signpost forest. This so-called forest started in 1942 when a homesick American soldier was stationed here after being injured while working on the Alaska Highway. This soldier was given light work duty, repairing and repainting directional posts, and one day, feeling a little homesick, he had put up a sign of his hometown of Danville, Illinois up onto a post. Today, this forest is somewhat of a miniature maze. Maintained by the town, the forest has almost 100,000 signs tacked onto towering signposts by travelers from all over the world. And of course, with the help of Diesel, we had got creative and crafted our very own sign to contribute to the forest legacy.
It's so good.
Okay. You know what? We're just gonna go for it.
Ready?
Turn it towards you. Oh!
Good boy. Okay. Voila.
Yeah, that works, right?
Yeah, it's perfect. Now people will know what it is. It's the one. The time has come.
Shower day! We just got up. Let Diesel have his breakfast, do his business. I'm gonna give him a treat. And then, we're gonna go check out the rec center. Bye, see you in a bit.
Bye-bye.
All fresh, showered, ready to go. We got a quick little workout in today. We want to get back on the road today. We're going to start heading towards Whitehorse, but before we do that, we had to stop at our restaurant across the street. Tags, yes. Phenomenal. Best breakfast burrito I've had in a long time. We really enjoyed Waterton Lake. Everything's just in a small little vicinity. Where we slept is across the street, the gas station, the restaurant is just across the other street. Everything's all super close. We'd actually spent a couple days posted up here at the rec center, Definitely needing a break after that long stretch from Prince George to now. This is where things started to get even more wild. Every road traveled in the Yukon was absolutely breathtaking. Only a few minutes up the road, we had caught the sight of a moose munching in a lake not far away. And although not technically a desert, this place has the title of the world's smallest one. The Carcross Desert was once the bottom of a glacial lake, and is actually just sand dunes left over from the last ice age. We'd only just begun our Yukon adventure and already we were blown away. There's something about the Yukon territory, for anyone that's ever been there before, you know how much it takes a hold of you. Whether you've lived there or just passed through, you are always yearning for more. With several pit stops along the way, we'd eventually make our way to the capital city of the Yukon. Whitehorse is situated along the Yukon River with only 33,000 residents. And with the Yukon being just over 482,000 square kilometers and 2/3 of the population living in this small city, this should give you a scale on how vast this territory really is.
Some of that. Baby. So we got a Mediterranean pizza. Looks delicious.
Oh, heavy breathing.
Insert heavy breathing.
And then there's also salad in there, and then we have garlic bread and some sort of pasta. I can't remember what we got, but we have calories to ingest, so here we go. That good, bud?
I can't reach. Here, watch out.
Where is he? Already sleeping, of course.
Hi. Oh, and you're spotted. It's alright.
So we were walking up the strip looking for postcards, and somehow I got sucked into the outdoors camping store. Didn't buy any camping stuff, but it is long overdue to get rid of this dirty thing. Yeah. You good?
You're a new man.
Feeling fresh. This stinky old thing needs to go in the garbage. Last night was probably our noisiest night
at the Superstore. So we are getting out of Whitehorse for the day. Well, for a couple of days, probably. We are off to Kluane National Park. Alana found a pretty good hike for us to do. I think it's Sheep Mountain, something like that. So I think we're just gonna go to Haynes Junction, see what camping's available, and explore the park a little bit.
We were eager to get out of the city as our last night in Whitehorse was rather noisy. Plus, adjusting to the longer days where the sky is lighter for almost 22 hours of the day, it felt great to be camping again, cooking dinner on the fire, and getting cozy in our little home on wheels.
Stuck the landing.
Cheers to being home for the night.
Okay. High five. Nice. High five. Nice. Ah. Okay. There you go. Good boy.
My little shadow. We're gonna go into burrito coma. I'm already tired. It's still piping hot.
Going for it? Good.
Up. There you go. Good boy. It's nice not to hear trucks and cars and the sounds of a city. Now we can sleep in peace.
Yeah, this just feels right.
Yeah. Back to camping.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I know, Alana was even saying earlier, it's like you feel the stress a little bit just from being in the hustle and bustle of a city.
Yeah, and like the thing is Whitehorse isn't even that big of a city.
No, it's a very small city.
However, we've been like out of the city for quite like a month.
Yeah.
And just being in that environment, just like, you know, it's traffic and the sounds, like you don't really realize it until you take yourself out of that.
Yeah, definitely not
environment.
knocking it because Whitehorse was a great place to visit, but
Oh yeah, it's any city or town. I mean, we also chose to stay at those places.
yeah.
So we also slept for free, so.
Yeah. Didn't have to pay for accommodation, so you can't really complain on that one, but
Yeah.
it's just nice to hear the nothing, the peace and quiet.
After leaving Whitehorse, we headed towards Kluane National Park. Kluane is tucked away right there in the southwesternmost point of the Yukon Territory. And for any of those fellow map lovers out there, you've seen that long, narrow white line stretched out along the BC, Yukon, and Alaska coast. It is home to the largest non-polar ice fields in the world and 17 of Canada's tallest mountains, including Mount Logan, the highest peak in Canada.
This is why I tell you to drink your water in the morning. You don't listen.
He's found the water source.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any left. Make sure the baby's taken care of. Got to do a little bushwhacking now for the next kilometer or so. We're doing the last little bit along the ridge. Views are pretty much spectacular the whole way up, and they just keep getting better the further you go. Oh, as you can tell, we're still getting our hiking legs primed. Doing a little better. There is people up there, but they look minuscule, so I guess that means it's still a bit of a trek.
So these are soap berries. Actually, when you look really close, they have like some white speckles on them.
Oh yeah?
But we've been reminded that it's berry season and these are the berries bears like to eat. And they're actually on every single trail we're on. So lots of berries, but no bears. So we're doing great.
So far.
So far.
Last little grunt to the top. Just gotta take this ridge. Trail leads us right up to that point.
Way further. Go to the top, take a little picture, a little break, a little snack, and then we're gonna go all the way down. Okay?
What do you think, dude? You got this? I think you got this.
Okay, we are so close.
We've hit so many false summits, thinking you're at the top, like just over this hump is going to be it, but it's not.
Yeah.
Just there's been many points where we're just like, yeah, I'm content. Let's just go back, but then we're like, no, like we're we're so close. I feel like we just have to do it, get it over with. It's already his dinner time, so, and we still have 9 kilometers back down the hill.
9 hours of daylight still.
Yeah, we won't get caught by the dark, so that's the plus side. But we have a cider left, so 1 alcoholic beverage, about 1 water bottle in Alana's bladder. I ran out of water, so but we'll survive. Final stretch. Just a mountain. Everywhere you look, it's just incredible. Straight down there, if you can see it, is Kluane Lake. So you drive along that road, and apparently that lake, the water used to be much higher up to where the road was, but it's descended quite a bit over the past few years. Hopefully the hike down will be much quicker. 9 kilometers to the top just means you gotta go 9 kilometers
down.
back to the parking lot. Here we go. Only a few meters left to the car. For the last 2-3 kilometers, we've just been talking about all the food we're gonna eat once we get back to the car.
7 hours, 48 minutes, 18.44 kilometers.
We found ourselves a campground for the night, ate the rest of our pasta salad and started throwing hummus on English muffins that weren't even toasted because we were so hungry. We only brought like granola bars and a couple snacks here and there for the actual hike, but we're just gonna eat a little more, have a little fire, and then probably go to bed. And it's gonna be this light out for the next, what, 4 hours, 5 hours still? Diesel's already sleeping. He fell asleep pretty much as soon as we got him in the car after the hike, so he had a good time too. It just seemed like that descent down the mountain seemed to go on forever, but we had a blast.
Good morning / afternoon. We're just packed up, made some breakfast and coffee. It's a rainy day here, so we are gonna start heading back towards Hanks Junction. Feel like we didn't eat enough before we went to bed last night, and I'm just a bottomless pit. I could just keep eating right now. So we're gonna hit the road.
This morning, it's really peaceful here this morning.
It's just so peaceful, and just the sound of the birds and the water. It's really nice.
Got up a bit earlier this morning, probably just after 7, and the sky was beautiful. It was so nice and quiet here, and Kyle and I literally just got out of the car and a tour bus rolled in, and we're like, oh my gosh, like literally right away.
Elena didn't even have pants on yet.
Yeah, so they kind of pulled up a little bit ahead of us, so I was like, if I'm gonna put pants on, I'm gonna do it now. So got my pants on, and they literally just like, they're really nice people, and they just kind of came all around the car. Kyle was walking Diesel, so everyone was saying hi to Diesel. He was loving it, and they were all from like Maryland, Wisconsin. They were doing a really awesome tour, so we chatted with them for a little bit. So we had our coffee this morning, had some oatmeal, just kind of organized our clothes a bit, threw some dryer sheets here and there, decided it's probably time to do laundry soon, so we're gonna find a laundromat at some point and do our laundry. And yeah, we're gonna head to Dawson City today. We're in Dawson City, posted up with all the campers and travelers, making dinner by the river.
We just got here earlier today. Today was pretty much just a day to do chores. We did some laundry, a car wash, which washed off most of the dust and dirt from our travels over the last month. So that was good to finally get done. I think the only time we did laundry was in the river when we were in Mount Robson like two weeks ago. But we have fresh sheets, fresh duvet cover, and some fresh clothes for tomorrow. So we're doing pretty good. Earlier in the day, we'd driven past the starting point of the Dempster Highway. This road had been lurking in our minds the entire trip. We'd made it all the way to Dawson City, which was another huge milestone. This town was once the capital of the Yukon and made famous by the Klondike Gold Rush, when thousands of people flocked here to stake their claim. And although being here was a huge success, we didn't come all this way just to stop here. We decided to post up in Dawson for a few days and stock up on all the supplies we'd need if we were to attempt the Dempster Highway. But before that, we had an important task to do. Besides keeping Diesel off the Ravens, we had to gain a rite of passage to Dawson City. He doesn't like him. It's not worth it, bud. It's not worth it. Look, he's just taunting him. The
legend of the Sourtoe dates back to the 1920s, when two brothers set out on one of their cross-border rum running deliveries. One evening, they had found themselves caught into an awful blizzard, and in an attempt to direct the dog team, the one brother Louis had stepped into some icy overflow, causing his foot to become completely soaked. Due to the illegal nature of the activities carried out by the two brothers, they had continued on with their journey, fearing the police were onto them. Louis's brother had cut off the toe with a wood-cutting axe, and they decided to preserve the toe in a jar of alcohol. Years later, the toe was discovered in an abandoned cabin, and over time, the rules of the Sourtoe cocktail came to be.
But your lips must touch the snarly toe. Just your lips. Teeth, tongue, touch. You got it.
These are our certificates, and you can see the member number is actually the number of toes served. So there you go.
Not many other people have kissed the same toe.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel great. So good.
So we've inquired just to get some spare tires. I mean, they recommend having even 2 or 3 sets or 2 or 3 spare tires, and just being prepared for, you know, cracks in your windshield. And it's a very rough road for about 900 kilometers. So we're kind of just staying put, meeting people in town and hanging out, just really getting to, you know, see everything, which has been really awesome. Just being able to park for a few days, really get to see a new town or city. And it's been a lot of fun. We've heard tons of people saying it's, like you're going to pop tires, you're going to get a cracked windshield. And we've heard other people say, like, you have to do it. You're here. When are you ever going to get to do it again? And it really is like a big accomplishment for a lot of people. Like, it's a drive of a lifetime. And people come back to Dawson City after they've completed the whole 900 kilometers once they get to the ocean. And again, you get like a certificate.
First, the Dempster Highway will hereafter be recognized as honorable members of the exclusive Dempster Highway Orders of Arctic Adventurers. Yay! Woo! Thank you. Yeah. I am thrilled.
Just to say you did it, and people were like smiling, just loving life once they got back, and just said it was just very scenic and beautiful and well worth, you know, if you have to invest in a couple new pairs of tires or a new windshield. It's just something you have to do when you're up here.
Yeah, and like those things are replaceable. Like you can do that, but that experience, it is probably once in a lifetime unless you make the effort to come back out here again.
Yeah.
I just think we have like full intentions of going, so once we're equipped, I think we'll be good to go.
Yeah. This was our last big hurrah, the final boss in this adventure. We made it this far, just over 7,500 kilometers from our hometown in St. Catharines to where we were now. You can't make it all this way and stop just before the finish line. There's something truly intriguing about making it to the very end of the road. We are a little bit nervous, to be completely honest. I know we touched on it a little bit the other day, but it is a pretty treacherous road from what we've heard. A lot of people have come back saying they've blown tires, they get cracks in their windshield. We waited all weekend for the tire shops to open. There was no tires fitting my vehicle, so we have the spare donut tire under the vehicle.
If we need it.
It's inflated. If we need it. Let's pray that we're not going to need it, but we're prepared as much as we're going to be. We have lots of food, water. We're not going to die, you know? And that's what we just keep telling ourselves.
Yeah,
so.
we're just going to take our time, go slow. We're going to go to Tombstone Park, and that'll kind of give us an idea of the highway a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of talk it over and just see where we're at.
One step at a time. Yeah, we'll make it in baby steps.
No rush.
Originally, all we wanted to do was just go to Tombstone, but I mean, we're here. I feel like we just have to do our best to try and complete it. So.
And we're sitting here, and there's a lot of people towing their trailers, and really any sort of vehicles kind of taking this road. So
Yeah.
you just have to kind of do it, I think. Just drive carefully, be cautious.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Only thing we can do is just go. Check it out ourselves. We're on the bumpiest road, and Alana decides to pluck her eyebrows. This is the time to pluck eyebrows.
This is the time.
About 50 kilometers in, we made it to Tombstone Park. It's really no joke. I guess everyone was pretty serious about the conditions of this road. It's very bumpy. I find I'm like wincing every time a truck comes flying by, just hoping for the best. There's some parts in the road where it's just so much, there's just so many potholes that you just kind of, there's no good way to take. You just hope for the best. Just stop for a quick little pee break. We're gonna keep going. We met a nice gentleman who stopped along with us. He's in front of us, so we're kind of seeing the parts where he's really slowing down so we can kind of prepare where we need to do the same. So yeah, let's keep going.
Just finished putting air in the tire, patching her up.
It's a good thing we pulled into this little campground here. We're feeling a little hungry, so we're just like, let's just stop. And then as soon as I got out of the car, and I noticed this one was pretty low, and I heard a little hissing, like when I put my ear up to it. And another gentleman is here staying too. And he was like, oh, it could just be water on the exhaust. So I was kind of praying that was it. But as we were eating dinner, we noticed it was slowly getting lower and lower. So thankfully I have a patch kit that I brought. And I was kind of expecting to use it at some point, just not the first day.
Father's searching here. It's all ready to go. Keep the lens pointed down as we go into the water. The ROV will allow us to look at the seafloor.
Well, we decided to just camp out at this spot here. We're at Engineer Creek Campground. We the tire seems to be holding, but we didn't finish until a little bit later, so we're just hanging out. Didn't feel like hitting the road this late in the day, so we're just gonna get to bed early and then hopefully start off early tomorrow. You cold?
Just a little bit. It's at 4 degrees, which is quite a significant drop.
Yeah, no heat wave here.
No.
Better?
Oh, yeah. We're gonna hit the road. We were kind of just waiting for the weather to clear up, and it kind of has a little bit. So we're gonna head to the Arctic Circle and then take it from there. I always think Arctic Circle, like you look at a globe or on a map and you always used to see like the line.
Nice hand gestures, babe.
That is gonna be real life in a few minutes.
The sun finally started to come out. Rain, it looks like it's off in the distance now. We made it this far. This is further than we even thought we were gonna make it, but we just keep on pushing. We got some pretty awesome fish and chips at Eagle Plains, the lodge and hotel. Some really, really expensive gas, the most we've ever paid for gas on this trip so far. We're just gonna keep on pushing. Things are looking good so far. The Dempster Highway requires two major crossings across the Peel and Mackenzie rivers. These sections of the highway close seasonally for approximately 6 to 8 weeks in the fall when the rivers begin to freeze, and then again for 4 to 6 weeks in the spring when they begin to thaw, making all the establishments north of the rivers only accessible by air during those times. Stopping just outside of Fort McPherson, we found a lake to pull off and rest for the night. Well, this is our little campsite for the evening. I am glad we decided to keep pushing on from Eagle Plains today. What started off to be a pretty dreary morning, but the sun came out and it's not going to go down, so it's kind of going to stay on that little horizon right there pretty much the whole night. Covered up the windows the best we could. We're just going to camp out here, enjoy the evening a little bit, and hopefully get a relatively early start in the morning, carry on to Inuvik, grab some stuff, and then keep pushing on to the Arctic Ocean. We are getting closer and closer, crossing fingers. Still nothing bad has happened. Actually, 2 cracks in the windshield. We had one more truck go by earlier today, and we have a second crack in the windshield. Hopefully just put some super glue on there and all will be good. Starting off the day good. We got some coffee made. Getting back on the road, Elena's gonna say her ritualistic prayer that we've been saying every day before we've started our drive. And it seems to have been working pretty well so far. So I think we're just gonna get out of the spot. We only had one neighbor last night. Slept really nice. It was peaceful here. We have a nice little lake just out to the side of the car. Inuvik is the main town, city. I think only about 100 kilometers or so. So I think we're just gonna drive, make some breakfast wherever we decide to land for a bit, and then push on towards the ocean. I'm hoping we make it there today. I think we can. We're gonna do it.
I was on fire, our house, our dreams. We were dancing on a wire, reckless it seemed. We found holes in these walls, we like what we saw. Seems so strong until it falls, the final straw. Oh, I never felt like this before. When I was trapped, you showed an open door.
Stretch of the road, it's been extremely windy. Would you agree?
Very windy.
And we've just been weaving through, the road's been weaving through all the little lakes that are around here. So it's windy, we're weaving, and Kyle is dodging pretty decent sized rocks on the road.
Small boulders.
Yeah.
For the last 2.5 hours. It's been fairly flat, but out of nowhere you have to dodge these like fairly big rocks that would not be good if you hit them.
I'm excited for the midnight sun. Pretty much gonna have like 24 hours of daylight, which is pretty awesome, I think. So just to experience it.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Satisfying, I think. So far we've clocked in at just below 9,000 kilometers. Lots of detours along the way, but from Ontario all the way to Tuktoyaktuk on the Arctic Ocean. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
You made it! Aren't you excited to go swimming? I don't know about that, but
How's it feel, buddy?
he's like, I just want to
Feed me, damn it.
We're just sitting here in the car right now at our campsite, and it's too windy out to cook anything. Well, Kyle's gonna go out and go up top and grab some rice, beans, and some tuna. And then
In a minute.
We're gonna cook it here. Like I don't know if you can hear the wind, but it hasn't let up since we've arrived here in Tux. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out in our home.
It's awesome to be here, just to say we're at the Arctic Ocean, but we can't really go outside and enjoy it right now. So
yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like, you know, we were just talking, like, they just built this road from Inuvik to Tuk in 2017, and it's definitely the road less traveled because there aren't many people here. It's very quiet, so it is quite an accomplishment, and I'm so proud of you for getting us here safe.
Yeah, and it feels really good to be here, you know, seeing people on YouTube and just seeing what they present this place to be, and then seeing it with your own eyes. And also as a place, as like, we weren't even going to come here for a while. We were really debating it, and then one day we're just like, you know what, we have to. We're already up north. We got to do it, and we're here. Couple minor incidents on the road, but nothing we couldn't handle ourselves, and totally worthwhile.
Yeah,
pretty incredible. And what do we think?
It's just exquisite. I didn't know I was going camping, but this is like fine dining experience right now.
So many times I'm stranded, a castaway, and I'm not sure.
Sun shining.
Finally.
The ocean has calmed down a little bit. Still a little windy. It's just not as windy as yesterday, so it's nice.
Still wearing 2 jackets.
Yeah, I still have my wool socks on.
Kyle.
That's me. Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, we've had our morning coffee. We've had our breakfast. Before we leave Tuk today, I think there's just one more thing we need to do to get the full Arctic experience. There we go, bath for the day. All right, there we go. The full Arctic experience. It's just getting yourself in the water.
It was actually, like, not that cold.
Yeah, once you're in, it's actually really refreshing.
Yeah.
It's freezing, but really refreshing.
I feel like the glacier lakes we've been in are actually almost colder.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's kind of a mixture from the fresh water in the Mackenzie River, flows out into the Beaufort Sea.
Yeah.
So it's a little salty, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't really like taste
No.
anything. It's
No.
probably too cold.
Yeah, I wasn't in long enough to taste any salt water,
Yeah.
but once you're out, your body just kind of, your muscles relax and
It's literally a polar dip.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah. And I got to wash my hair, finally.
Yeah, we like really needed a shower. So.
It had been a few days.
We're at Eagle Plains and we just had a free hot shower.
Yeah.
How amazing was that?
Yeah. That's the price of paying way too much for gas.
Yeah, it was $2.50 a liter again, so.
Yeah.
And yeah, we knew there were public showers here. We were just like, oh, I wonder how much that costs. And one of the guys at the shop there, and just down the building here, he's like, oh, there's free showers down there.
Yeah.
So taking full advantage of that.
Filled up our water.
Yeah.
Got some showers.
We're just having some snacks. We have a little bit of watermelon, some granola bars. Kyle's been eating like bread and hot sauce just to tie him over.
I need carbs. That's my snack. Road snacks, baby.
He's just saying he has to eat so much that he's eating bread and hot sauce.
I'll get hungry.
It's so warm out today, so it's been nice to just stop and like take in all the views that we've missed on the way up.
Yeah.
We are at Tombstone Territorial Park. Yep.
Car's making lots of funny noises. Yes. Having issues with it now.
Not really sure what it is. Sounds like the conveyor belt and the steering wheels.
Yeah.
A little bit of issues.
We were gonna just bolt it right to Dawson City, but it's a Sunday right now, so things are probably closed. So
yeah, so we're here, so we're just gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend it's not happening right now.
Yeah. It's a little bit rainy today. And Kyle yesterday overheard at the interpretive center that there are blueberries in the area. So we just went today just to kind of ask a little bit more, and they said that there are an abundance of blueberries and like other berries, and we learned that they're all edible in Tombstone Park. So we're going to forage some berries.
Yeah, we've already ate a bunch, so.
Yeah, we found them right away. We're looking for moss berries, which grow in the shrubs. They're very low to the ground. They're like a dark blue, kind of blackish. A little bit sour, but they're very juicy.
Yeah.
And then blueberries, which we also found just kind of right by our campsite.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're really everywhere. You just literally have to look for them. And then there's a few other berries too. So we have a little book with us just to kind of check, just to know that they're all edible. It's pretty awesome. So
yeah,
so we're gonna take advantage of this rainy day.
Foraging for dinner.
Foraging for dinner. So the moss berries are found in these little shrubs close to the ground.
last 5 kilometers of the Dempster Highway. We're just about back to the intersection to take us back to Dawson City. We can't wait to get off this bumpy road, I'll tell you that. But yeah, we're done the Dempster Highway. We friggin' did it.
We're gonna go get our certificate now.
Yeah, we're gonna go see our friend Dawn at the visitor center. I think we need to go get the car fixed first, to be honest. It's still making a lot of racket under the hood. The belt sounds like it's squealing. Something's leaking. I don't really know exactly what it is. We haven't had service, so it's not like we can even Google any of this stuff. But we're gonna figure that out now and just get it over with and carry on with our trip.
Kyle and Elena and Diesel. Diesel. Woo, Diesel. Having demonstrated the initiative, integrity, and bold adventurous spirit of Arctic explorers who have traversed the Dempster Highway, will hereafter be recognized as honorable members of the exclusive Dempster Highway Order of Arctic Adventurers.
Yeah! Good job, buddy. He's so excited.
It's a strange feeling being in a city right now, considering we've been kind of off-grid and in these little tiny towns, secluded from, I guess, reality per se. So it's nice to be back. We have our phones and just checking in because everyone's like, where have you been? Are you okay? And I'm ready to put it down.
Already?
Already. I feel like I just need to eat, and then like tomorrow we'll like check in and fill everyone in with what's been going on.
Yeah.
We've been having fun, so that's all that really matters. Yeah. But definitely back. Good to be back.
Cheers to being back.
Cheers. Yes.
Although the Dempster Highway was now behind us, this trip was far from over. We still had over 40 hours of driving before we got to our new home on Vancouver Island.
We are on our way to Faro, Yukon, where we have an Airbnb booked that we reserved for Elena's birthday a few months ago. We're gonna go stay there for a few days, hang out in the Yukon for a little bit longer, and then we are going to slowly make our way back to BC.
We scored an epic remote cabin in the Yukon wilderness, potentially foreshadowing what our future might look like. So far, our vehicle had been an extremely reliable companion on this trip, but that unfortunately wouldn't last much longer, as she'd eventually give us a little trouble. The drone operator may have also had the same intention.
We stopped in at Liard Hot Springs. We are in BC now, as of today. What'd you think?
Loved it. It was so beautiful there and super refreshing and just...
It's just a bunch of people taking a bath together, pretty much. As we were leaving the Airbnb, I decided to get some nice drone shots of Elena going through the forest, on the road, you know, just a nice scenic view. I even said to Elena, I was like, I'm gonna just go in a circle to like check my surroundings. And I guess I just missed the tree that was behind here. But I started backing up slowly, about 50 feet up. It backed into a tree. And if you can see the camera, kind of the important part of the entire drone, decided to break. So it's not functioning at the moment.
Amidst the challenges and uncertainties of life, traveling offers a sense of purpose and fulfillment, reminding you of the boundless possibilities that await beyond the confines of routine. It encourages you to step outside your comfort zone, to embrace spontaneity, and to embrace the richness of human experience. It was definitely tough to leave our friends and families and the comfort of a good-paying job to ultimately live off savings, especially when replacing failing brakes and a blown steering rack. But even with that uncertainty, we found we had never been happier than when living a life on the road.
Fort Nelson and just got some water and that, and we found out that there was a Tim Hortons.
Yes.
So we got our wraps.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. We think since at Valemont, which was just outside of Mount Robson. So that's like over a month ago. Yeah. So
It's delicious.
it is. It's so good. Where do we begin? We are in Pemberton, and unfortunately yesterday we called it quits for our vehicle. It's been giving us too many issues.
Sorry for the bus and the truck.
We're on the just off the Sea to Sky Highway at the visitor center. So yes, we called it quits. There's too many issues with our car, and we made the decision to get it towed to Vancouver, get on the ferry, and then drive it straight on through to Campbell River. Fingers crossed things work out and we can drive it. But it's not very safe to be driving it on this highway right now just because it's a bit busier and it's more mountainous, so we're kind of going up and down, and just because the brakes and the steering are giving us issues, we'd just rather be safe. So yesterday was kind of a crazy day. Had a loss in the family as well on top of everything, so it's been a little stressful, so we just relaxed yesterday, and today we're just kind of waiting for our rides. My cousin is driving up right now to pick Diesel and I up, and then we have CAA coming to pick up Kyle in the car, and then we're all going to meet in Vancouver. So it's been fun in a way, you know, figuring things out.
It's a puzzle.
It is a puzzle and just problem solving, and it's the way of the roads.
And after 2 years of calling Vancouver Island our home, we've decided to pursue the simple life of road travel full time.
They say these are once-in-a-lifetime trips and that eventually we'll have to get back to the real world. But we don't think we can accept that statement. We'll soon be making our way north again, where we'll attempt to make it to Mile Zero of the Pan America Highway and spend the next year exploring North America. This time, we'll be traveling in our van that feels like a mansion compared to our tiny SUV home. If you made it to this point in the film, we hope this inspired you in one way or another. Thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to join us on this next adventure.